switching gears to the reopening of schools,
Mhm.
do you think that schools should reopen at full capacity? And if they do, what could be the consequences of a full school reopening on teachers and parents?
Sure, that's a great question. I want to let you know that the school systems in Lucas County and the health department have been meeting for a couple months now, trying to get plans together, have very frank discussions of what we need to do. Again, what we've talked about in those meetings too was this: is that it's going to be scenario driven. What we need to do at that point in time. The current conditions with cases inside of our county as well as other counties it is such that we probably want to take a good hard look at if we're going to be able to go back 5 days a week to school. So again, those discussions are still ongoing, and we got a little bit of time here to make that final decision. But again, bringing people together in an environment where there's a lot of virus, if you would, much like inside of a school, again, you've increased the risk of spreading that virus further. So again, it all depends on how much virus we have in the community at that point in time, and then the plans that the schools want to enact.
How much do health officials know about students spreading the coronavirus?
Again, another great question. There's research out there, and it kind of goes on both sides. Unfortunately, that's kind of what we're dealing with right now with COVID, since it is a relatively new disease. I just saw a piece of research here that they're saying that even 10-year-olds have the ability to actually spread the virus like an adult does. So again, that's concerning. The idea again is that you want to make sure that we limit the ability for this thing to jump from person to person. So again, it goes back to the amount of virus in the community. It goes back to how good we are at social distancing and wearing our mask. The one thing that I will say right now, if we really want to have schools at some point in time in the near future go back to a type of normalcy, or a type of normal operations, if you would, as well as the sports and everything we want, we really should decrease the amount of virus in the community. Again, you do that by the things we've talked about, but also then too, wearing a face covering.
What should schools do to reopen safely for students, staff, parents, and everyone else in the community?
Again, you got to start with a plan, and our schools have plans. Some have been finalized, other ones are almost there. So you got to be able to, again, have at least a starting point. As we know, any plan, as we go through a situation, it's going to have to adjust. So that plan is going to have to adjust. The biggest thing that we need to do is, again, social distancing. Again, making sure that we're wearing our face coverings, we're doing proper hand hygiene, and again, those things we've always talked about here over the last couple of months with COVID. But more importantly, understanding that the disease is out there, and there is always that possibility of a school having a COVID issue if they don't take as many precautions as they possibly can.